I did a video on this channel where I went through the sort of wrestling scrapbook that I had as a kid. I will link to it right over my face, wherever those things pop up. And so this is a little bit like the same thing. And I'm going to show it to you. These are the comic books that I drew in high school. I got so into comics, I started drawing comic books. I will warn you, I have no artistic talent whatsoever. If you're expecting even your least favorite comic book artist quality, you are going to be sorely mistaken. And this was more just to have some fun with my friends. I have kept them for all these years. And I'm also going to say that I based a lot of the characters on my friends, and I'm not going to say their full names to protect the innocent. But anyway, the X-Men were super popular. And in high school, I was in the band, and it was Burlingame High School in Burlingame, California. So we were in the band, and so instead of the X-Men, I made the B-Men, which was like the band men. Now, I will say that I drew like a 2002, 10 years later drawing. So this is me, this is my artwork, but that was more recent. This is the original cover from the Uncanny B-Men, and this is me. No, this is not me. This is not me. This is the special origin issue. And you will also see through here that I ripped off a lot of things from comic books. So, of course, I had to have an ad in here. And this is where Fallen Star, you can tell that I loved Nomad and the Punisher. He had it all, money, fame, power, then he left all of it to begin his quest. He is Fallen Star. Dun dun dun. Starts in 1992 from FX Comics. I never did anything with that, that was just an ad. In the band room of an exclusive public school in California's San Mateo County, a strange silent man sits motionless, brooding alone with his indescribable thoughts. So this obviously is a takeoff on the original X-Men book. Finally, his meditation comes to an end. Then, while he remains completely motionless, a sharp, commanding thought rings out, echoing throughout the great halls of the building. Attention, B-Men, this is Professor Kimura calling. Repeat, this is Professor K calling. So instead of Professor X, it was Professor K. Mr. Kimura was my band teacher. You're all ordered to appear at once. Class is now in session. Tardiness will be punished. And so then here is Copy Man. This was me. I was Copy Man, which you'll see here in a second. Xerox Boy, so it's Copy Man and Xerox Boy. We got Rank and File. They were like a team, sort of like a little bit like Cloak and Dagger. We got Bad Man, and we got Zoo Girl. Good, my children, there is no time to waste. The time is short. You must tell of your origins now. So this whole thing was, he calls them all together and goes, you must tell your origins right now. And now prepare for one of the most exciting reading experiences of your life, for you're about to enter the fascinating, unpredictable world of the B-Men. So Copy Man and Xerox Boy, you are first. I forget who... I know this is based on somebody. This is me. Because you can tell, because he's got a mullet, and that's what I had in high school. Well, as you could probably guess, our origin was in the copy room here at this school. We were making copies. Oh, his name was Rich, apparently. What are you doing? Someone might see you. And he was like, making cocoa. Shaolin. These are all, like, specific in-jokes. I started to put a new paper that needed to be copied into the machine when Rich tripped and pressed the start button on the machine. Which started the machine while the cover was still raised. The room was suddenly filled with green light. Rich tried to save me. No, don't look. But his valiant attempt failed, and we were both exposed to the light. Rich became Xerox Boy, who could emit pure beams of copy light from his eyes. Only his emerald quartz visor can control the deadly beams. And I became Copy Man. The green light gave me the power to become any object I desired simply by touching it. So this is me touching a chair and becoming the chair. We both kept our abilities secret until Professor K created his school. Now we can use... Which is weird because I got the powers at the school. For the good of all. Zoo Girl, your story is next. Well, it all started at the zoo. I volunteered there, and this was my friend Jen. And Jen volunteered at the San Francisco Zoo. I received an important job. Jen, I need you to take these animal blood samples to the lab. You already know what's going to happen. I took off as swiftly as I could, but I stumbled, dropping the tubes, which shattered on impact. As I cleaned up the mess, I cut myself. The animal's blood mixed with mine, giving me the power of those animals. Flight, speed, strength, and I can breathe underwater. You can really breathe underwater? Water? Wow, neat power, fish woman. Ah, that's it, I'm leaving. Because I think that's what Jen would always say. She would get mad and go, oh, that's it, I was leaving. Hey, relax, I was kidding. Yeah, okay. Enough, these stories must continue. Professor K is okay, so now we got ads, right? Because comic books need ads. So here's another one. No one notices the crimes kids commit in high school. Well, Death Shadow does. There's a new vigilante in town, Death Shadow, high school vigilante. Obviously, well before guns in schools, you understand what I'm saying. Now this is interesting. This is Deputy Guppy. Some call him hero. Some call him a legend. He just knows he's a fish with a job. He is Deputy Guppy. This became much more than it is, which you will see as we go on here. Rank and file requesting permission to tell origin. Why do they always ask like that? Go ahead. Well, sir, it started in the football field. We were working on our baton twirling, sir. Twirling and catching, with all of a sudden, a bolt of lightning struck our batons just as we were catching them. Luckily, we were still alive, and our hair did eventually lay down. We realized later that we had some very special powers. Dana became File, who can stop time with a point of her finger. And I, sir, became Rank, who can draw all evil impurities out of a person's body. So, Ghost Rider. And whose origin is next? Me, pick me. Yes, Badman, you're next. My story starts about 30,000 feet in the air as I was skydiving. I pulled my chute, and the ring came out in my hand. I looked for a possible location for a safe landing. My choices, a nuclear reactor at a nearby power plant or a high school marching band. So, of course, I picked the nuclear reactor. And why? When the smoke cleared, that was just something Rich always used to say. He would, like, somebody would give an answer and he'd go, and why? I told you, there's these dumb jokes. When the smoke cleared, I was glowing but alive, and as Rank and File's hair problem, my glow went away, but I too had a few powers. When I so desire, I can let out a mighty sonic roar that can shatter walls and put people in trances and allows me to fly. And I can also teleport myself short distances. And then all of a sudden the lights go out and there's a bunch of dialogue. A van pulls away from the band room. Very well... so anyway, Professor K gets kidnapped. Well, Professor K, now I have you. Oh, and don't try any mental communications, Professor. If you could see, Professor, I have a super mental projection scrambler. Now, my friend, thou shalt see thy captor. Pyramus, untie the Professor. He must meet the world's craftiest villain, the Drama King. 'Tis I, the Drama King. And these are my groundlings, Pyramus and Thisbe. I was also in the theater, so this is the theater teacher. And Shakespeare, Pyramus and Thisbe. There you go. They're looking, of course. Ren and Stimpy had to make an appearance because that was all. The Drama King Saga in B-Men #2 on sale when it is done. Coming soon, the official guide to the FX comic universe featuring all the FX comic stars. So, as you know, I mean, I'm just copying stuff here. This cover, obviously, stolen from the X-Men. The Undoing. I'm not going to read through all of this. Crazy Nick's School of Driving. So this was an ad. My friend Nick was a heck of a driver. That's all. That's a phone number. That should probably not. I'll try to remember to blur that out because I'm sure that was at a time his actual phone number. So then they're looking for Professor K. You're going to write music for my musicals. That's why he can't there. You won't get away with this. I already have, Professor. I already have. This I stole from a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic because they did a panel that was Meanwhile back at the ranch, and then, oops, sorry, wrong story. Meanwhile at the band room, blah, blah, blah. Jeanette and the Cold Tired Hungry People, their world debut album, The World and Whatnot, featuring the hits Knock on Wood, Slammin', and Sir Duke, touring in 1992. This was my friend Jeanette, who I'm still friends with in high school. She was an amazing musician. Now on home video, Bachoco Martinelli, that's me and my friend Nick, who is the driver. In Math Man, we made this video for, this was like another ad. Anyway. Warehouse 54, room 54 was where was the drama room, and they go and Professor K goes to they put their powers all together. They destroy the ultimate soundboard. He's gone. We won. Professor, we won. We beat him. That you did. You've all made me very proud, and your teamwork is outstanding. You all deserve praise. Professor, is the Drama King gone? I wish I knew, File. I wish I knew. For now, let's go home. So they go home, but I drew little eyes down at the bottom because, of course, the Drama King is not gone. This one envelope will change the lives of the B-Men forever. Top secret. I forgot I did a third issue in the practice room. Attention B-Men, your practice is in. Good work for the day. Meeting in the band room in 10 minutes. B-Men, as you may or may not know, the U.S. government sends out its superhero team's progress reports today. Considering we've only had one battle against the Drama King, last-ish, Grant, of course, I don't see how we could get a bad report. You will also be graded as individuals. Again, I see no problem. What if there is a problem, sir? Well, Zoo Girl, I don't really know. I guess that the government will fix the problem. And this is where, obviously, it's going to get not colored, not inked, because I was doing it all. So we have the government here. This was my friend Jason's dad. This was my dad. And those problems will be corrected. Here are your reports. Well, here we go. No! So these are the government reports. Battles versus the Drama King, B+. Everybody got an A, but Copyman and Badman got Fs. Inability to work as a team risks civilian lives. Recommendation. Copyman and Badman's memberships are terminated. No way. What did we do? Wah. There, Badman. It's going to be okay. No, it's not. We didn't do anything. Well, obviously, the government thinks so. So start practicing. So here's what I love. This is one of the things where I was like, this is clever. Copyman gets mad, and he goes up and he grabs the guy by the lapels. Listen, pal, this smells as bad as yesterday's egg roll. We had egg rolls in the cafeteria, obviously. I intend to get to the bottom of this. And you can tell he gets so mad he turns into him. Let's blow this joint, Badman. We're on to better things. And this is them saying goodbye. So then on another part of campus, not far away from the events we have just witnessed, other events of greater importance take place. Plant manager of the illustrious school, Hernan, sets out on his daily rounds. Then without warning, the keys on the handlebars of Hernan's bike. Hernan was the head facilities guy at my high school. And of course, he grabs the keys and he becomes the spirit of cleanliness. So instead of the spirit of vengeance, the spirit of cleanliness. And then here's another thing I absolutely loved, was he rides away on his bike, but instead of flames, the bike wheels are brushes, and so he leaves a clear, clean path. I don't know if you can see that. Just a clear, clean path as he goes along. Somewhere in Nevada, Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Mr. Bronco. Okay, so this was Nick. So Nick is a new thing. Nick was going to be a new hero on the thing. So they're in the band room. They're talking about how sad it is, and then all of a sudden Hernan goes in, and Rich had like crazy hair, and so Hernan cuts his hair. Wait, is that? No, that was sorry. That was not Rich. That was Rank from Rank and File. And then he gives him the stare of cleanliness. He finds out that he's clean. He's sorry that he cut his hair. And so we have a whole new team forming here. So this was my friend Nathaniel. I'm pretty sure that's who this is. Nathaniel had big swoopy hair, like Gambit's. So, and then he threw musical notes. He actually kills a guy here. That is not great. And more stuff. And so then I was going to do a whole new comic, which was B Factor. And it was these other... Now this is a cover. I think I talked about this. This is a ripoff on a New Warriors cover. I think it's issue number 2 or something. Oh, so I think Badman... Yeah, I think Badman and Copyman. New club on the block. Careful, B Factor. This could be a trap. Yeah, because it's Copyman and B-Man, although Copyman's changed his look. Well, if it's trap, let's walk right into it. Wait, what is it, Badman? I smell cigarettes. I smell it too. There's something else, though. Yeah, it smells like coffee. Cigarettes and coffee? Where the hell are we? A bistro? All the drama kids used to go hang out at the bistro, and I never hung out there. No, but my name is Bistro, and you're gonna die. Let us introduce ourselves. I'm LSD. Meet Bistro. Here's Blackout, Spot, and Feedback, and we are the Drama Club. LSD, I think, had needles in his hand. There were some drama club people that were into drugs in high school, so this was all very political satire, localized to my high school. And then I think that's the end of it. I don't think there's anything more here. This is... Divine Right, I believe, was Mr. Nelson. He was a history teacher. He was ripped. He was like one of those teachers who was like a young guy, like, you know, maybe, I don't know how long it takes to become a teacher, but just whatever. He graduated from high school, went to college, became a teacher in whatever time, and then became a teacher. So he was a real young guy, but he was real ripped. He was a big muscular guy. This obviously is Mr. Morgan, the yearbook guy who always had a camera, and he was photo. And so obviously a tribute to Deathlock, but he had a camera. And I think his thing was like he fell and the camera got embedded. Here's a Drama King poster, obviously for the B-Men. See the B-Men as they battle a deadly new villain. Plus, who are the new B-Men? We're here for a job. Who are they? Beats me. But wait, there's 2 more surprise cameo appearances in the next B-Men thing. I don't think I ever drew it. Megan and Higgs, those were the 2. So Psylocke, and that's Gambit as well, I think. This is the updated drawing that I did in 2002. So that's the original drawing I did of them, and then that's the... This, you know, it's not bad. Then we get Deputy Guppy, and so this was a book that I also colored, and I did this whole thing. Lots of Western stereotypes in here, so please forgive me. I was a high school student at the time. But I will say that if you go to deputyguppy.com, I did make this into an audio drama. And Trout the Scout is in there. I don't think he's called Trout the Scout. But kind of this first story... was in there. All right. And then we have... Yeah, this is horrible. This is why... you know, because this is the high school vigilante, and so it's people smoking on campus, and then he... Now, this last one, I don't know when this was. This might have been drawn years before. But the point here is Mighty Gag and Guffaw, the boy laughter. My mom had an MG, a car, MG convertible, and when they sold the car, it was something like she kept the little MG symbol, but then I had it. And one time I was playing around with it. I was laying in my bed and I was throwing it up in the air and it landed on my chest. And I was like, oh, Mighty Gag. And so I created these characters, Mighty Gag and Guffaw, the boy laughter. And they scare this guy, but then they're just wearing masks. And like the whole thing would be that they scare people, or they fight crime with like whoopee cushions and a plunger. And then here is, I wish I would have dated this. Mighty Gag and Guffaw the Boy Laughter, because this was certainly before I was drawing the B-Men. I think this might even been before I was into comics. Because I'm trying to think what this sort of, like, this is like Mad Magazine style almost. And then the guy falls off the building and he becomes like, I don't know. Squishy. Squishy is the villain's name. And there you go. Anyway, I don't know if this is interesting or not. I just thought you might find it amusing. Since we do talk about comic books on this channel, I thought it would be fun to talk about the comic books I made back in 1992. Again, as you can tell, not an artist, but I had fun doing it. I had fun doing it. And you can see where I ran out of steam. But I thought the stories were clever, and if you were a student at Burlingame High School, and I never make copies of these, I just put them in this book and would show them to people. Anyway, I don't know. Let me know what you think of that. I hope you're doing well. Big shout out to all of our Golden Circle channel members, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye, everybody.